Quest physics games keep on improving, and that's great for being able to branch out in the near future with hand tracking and actual god tier movement, just like the way Joyway is and Gorilla Tag is, really giving us that immersion. Dungeons of Eternity I played recently. Shout out to my friend Tribe Grey Wolf VR. Make sure y'all check him out. And he gifted me this game and we had played, and I was actually thoroughly surprised because when you first see this game up front, you're like, man, this game is just not really looking that good. And you see the ratings of it, and obviously the reviews are amazing. I mean, the rating has the fact that it's a team game, I believe, so you don't think it's going to take it to the next level in terms of like what we're used to with Blade and Sorcery and Bone Lab and all that extra credential things that take immersion possibly to be inappropriate at times. But what happened here is when we're playing, I was actually this game was just convincing in totality. I was like, wow, this game is actually really cool. Everything from how you really proceed through the dungeons, how you're playing, all the flexibility, the physics. We were playing around and just having fun, like tossing your weapons around and just doing fun things. I love the bow and arrow in this game. It's I feel it's far more accurate than it is with Blade and Sorcery. That's just my opinion. Y'all can flame me for that. This is a great game. I think Quest heading to the right way with this type of game. I wish there can be more in-depth movement. Now, climbing was a little bit more difficult for me at times, but I still really enjoyed it. This game really is something that should set a forefront, especially with Quest 3. I saw the clarity and I recognized how clear it was on Quest 3. So I was like, man, this is something that we can move forward with in VR. And I'm very surprised because I can be very close-minded at times with Quest games just because we don't want to always see these types of things like the games that I mentioned earlier. You don't always want to see another replica of Bone Lab, another replica of Blade and Sorcery. You don't want to see another replica of like Pavlov Shack. Shout out to Pavlov Shack as they're coming to the official store pretty soon. I'm excited for them for that. Huge shout out to them because they're great friends over there. Another game like Contractors, which allows us to use those mods to create Call of Duty. So you just don't want all those similarity things, especially with VR. Either physics or FPS games all are starting to look the same, like the way like the Battle Talent tried to really get in with that Blade and Sorcery. Battle Talent though was really good for being free though, so shout out to them also. But when we keep moving forward with these, it's like, what are we growing with? Like, VR is still at a very young age. It's at an age where it's just like, I don't know, I'm already getting old, so I don't know how cool I'm gonna see this mastery level of Quest, especially as a standalone. Maybe with Apple Vision Pro, it'll accelerate those advancements that I really want to experience myself. But as of right now, Quest is definitely playing more of a marathon approach where it's like subtle updates. Quest 1 to Quest 2 is a huge improvement. Quest 2 to Quest 3 is not as drastic, but you do see the clarity, you do see the fun in it, in this Dungeons of Eternity, and I couldn't stop raving about it with Tribe Grey Wolf. And so I was like, man, this is actually a really cool game. It's something that will fall under the radar. It's something that will be looked weird because like what I said, the cover doesn't really look too inviting when you see it. But when you play it, it's like, oh shit, like this is actually really fun, man. So I in my opinion, physics games are improving. It's always good to see that improving because that's going to take immersion to a next level, especially when you go more into the advancements of VR. Like me, I don't always just want to be covering just flat out gaming on VR. My channel has been more predicated to just updates and just seeing the actuality of virtual reality, immersion, apps, the social experience. I just fucking whistled. The social experience, emotional connects, like with things like the full body tracking or the body estimated pose. Like those are things that I'm really interested in when Quest 3 moves forward. The hand tracking, the mixed reality, right? Mixed reality has been pushed on a real forefront. So it'll be cool to see games like this, like the way Drop Dead the Cabin has their home invasion update. I think this would be a great game for like a mixed reality component. You have a lot of people, enemies that are just the AI type enemies that are just coming around. You gotta destroy them. You have different unique ways to destroy your enemies, and I think that that's pretty cool without it being too violent. So I think that that's an A+ also, right? You don't want to get too gruesome at times. That's why you have the other games that I listed before to save for that notion for that. Dungeons of Eternity though did really surprise me. I think a lot of the level ups, there's a lot of zones or dungeons to visit. There's a lot of different unique missions and unique enemies in that outlook, which was also very surprising to me because Quest is not known to have these long format type games. Replayability, I don't know. But I do know there's a long play time whenever you do get this game, or if you do decide to hop into it. It is fairly expensive. I think it's like $30 USD, so it is pushing that real, like, going into those Walking Dead type games. So that'll be another hesitation in which people will want to cover. But it is really fun. I felt that it was great, you know. There's a lot of unique missions in here that help you out, finding keys, finding items, grabbing coins. Some of that does get repetitive after a while, but all in all, I think going in depth into the immersion is what we really want. And just to only, like what I said, if you're optimistic of looking at how far Quest has gone before to how it is now, that's where I was able to really be optimistic in this game, and how I enjoyed a lot more, because I came from OG Quest, and then when you're looking at Quest now, you're like, man, it has come a long way. And the immersion is there. It's very immersive, especially if you're hanging out with a friend. It's just very funny, the things you can do. And again, VR, just continuously trying to graduate with that really is going to help us. Again, not just gaming, but if you want VR to be the standard, the transition into like leaving flat gaming forever, like flat screen gaming, then there's a lot that VR still needs to work on, including like headset playtime. It's like only like what, like 2 hours? So I don't really know, man. So physics improved, immersion is through the roof. Dungeon of Eternity definitely does not disappoint when it comes down to that. And it's something that I'm looking forward to, like, to see other games doing. I know like Stride Fates is coming out. I know other games are coming out where physics is going to be pushed to the next level once again. I like Joyway. I like what Caveman Studio is doing. They're going to have their battle royale with contractors. So I believe that's going to be pretty fun. So make sure you are subscribing, because we're going to be covering all that. Again, we're looking for the gradual improvements, the graduation of virtual reality, and physics is a great part where we had to touch upon, where we're like, hey, this needs to be dope in order for us to even get to here. Because what we're doing wrong in virtual reality, at least Quest in that point, like it covering too many things and not going in depth on certain things. In depth should be the mixed reality, the hand tracking, physics types gameplay, and real movement for virtual reality, even for people that are just sitting. You don't have to be standing up playing VR. If you're sitting and if you can find some fun movement for people that are just not able to stand, like, that'll be incredible. I have family members that cannot stand, and if you can build that physics and that movement like the way Joyway provides, or the way that Gorilla Tag provides, with like just pumping your arms a little bit, get a little active, I think that that's huge, because then that also transitions to how we can graduate with physics and full body tracking, and utilizing that in a fitness source into getting healthier for virtual reality. Like, there's so much you can do, but it's such an earlier phase that, like, the main thing that is racking in the money right now for Quest, at least as a standalone, probably VR in totality, I would say right now, is gaming, and then mixed reality, but then mixed reality within gaming. There's people that are not pushing the apps limits far enough yet. I believe we should see more of the educational side, all the things you can create, much more painting. I've seen some painting, some cooking, so hopefully they can do more of that soon, man. But yeah, I appreciate y'all so much. If y'all can, hit us up with that thumbs up, subscribe. It really does help with the content. This channel tends to go up and down a lot, especially with VR, because VR is not at its peak, and YouTube's algorithm's a trip at times, man. So I appreciate y'all so much. Any type of support is appreciated. Peace.